Little and and
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are, no matter what time it is when you're watching. Hey friend, and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be filming another episode of Lewks in the Library while featuring a palette that I haven't used in forever. Today's palette is the Blends palette from Glamlite-Boop-A-Liscious. Is it all matte? Yes. This is an all matte palette featuring every color of the rainbow. Get into it. I think I'm gonna go for a subtle look, a little brown, a little yellow, maybe a pop orange, who knows? I don't know. It'll come to me when I start doing it. But anyways, if you're ready, so am I. Let's get into it.
although he'd only been out of prison for less than a day, I wanted his ass gone already. First thing I was gonna do once I left the doctor's office tomorrow morning was run my ass down to a lawyer and get this marriage annulled and serve this crazy nigga divorce papers. Percy! I yelled again to the top of my lungs. Then I lunged over to the television and cut the music off. What, bitch? I heard him yell as he stormed out into the living room without a damn thing on his body. He was fully naked, and his big old dick was hanging down to his kneecaps. Percy, put some clothes on, I screamed. Oh my God, exclaimed Alice as she clasped her mouth and spun around. I'm so sorry about that, I apologized, feeling so embarrassed that this was happening right now. Man, who the fuck this bitch is? Why she up in my house? Percy asked as he stood his naked ass there with no shame. She act like she ain't seen a dick before. Percy, have some motherfucking respect or you need to pack your shit up and get the hell up out my house. This ain't your house. Look, I think I should just leave, girl. I'ma holler at you later, Alice said as she quickly made her way out the door. I am so sorry about this, Alice, but thank you for helping me out. I'll call you later. I need to get this bastard straight. Okay, well, holler at me and call me if you need anything, she muttered as she zipped out of the front door. Pissed, I dashed down the hallway and made my way into my bedroom, where I saw this nigga casually putting some clothes on. Why in the fuck do you got my house smelling like this? And why did you have that music blasting to the high heavens? Who in the hell do you think you are? Nigga, this is my house. My house. I paid the mortgage for this motherfucker. Bitch, you must have forgot I'm married to your ass. This my house, too. Nigga, you lost your motherfucking mind. This is not your house. Let's get that straight right now, partner, I screamed. Why was I even continuing to bother with this fool? No, fuck that. He needed to get all of his shit and leave immediately. In fact, you know what? I'm done, I yelled, throwing my hands up in surrender. We don't need to be married. You don't have the slightest respect for me or what I've done for you. You need to pack up all of your shit and get the hell up out of my house. Now, nickel. Suddenly, without hesitation, Percy lunged at me, grabbed me, and slammed me up against the wall. Bitch, I'll kill you. I ain't going no motherfucking where. Let me go. Oh, ho, I ain't letting nothing go. Shit, you lucky I'm even fucking your old wrinkled ass. Dry ass pussy ain't even that good any damn way. Now go in there and fix me something to eat, old bitch. Old bitch? First, this nigga disrespects me by talking all types of shit to me. Then he puts his hands on me? Not to mention, he even disrespected my friend. But even worse, he called me an old bitch? I don't know what came over me, but all I saw was red. You hear me, old bitch? I said go fix me something to eat. A nigga hungry. All right. I'ma fix you something. Just calm down.
She gonna kill this man,
I said softly. Here I was, standing in front of this man, and he didn't even bother to ask me where I'd been at all day. I was fresh out of the hospital, freshly diagnosed with brain cancer, and all he wanted was some food. I got his food all right. So you're not even gonna ask me where I've been at all day? I had to ask before I left out of the room. Smacking his teeth, he growled, "No, I don't give a fuck. You was probably out playing bingo or some shit. Now hurry up and go fix me something to eat so I can put this wood up in you. Maybe then you'll get off my fucking nerves." Just like that, I already knew what I had to do. I coolly strolled into the kitchen and noticed how the breakfast I had been making earlier was all still out. The kitchen was an absolute mess. I spent the next hour or so cleaning up before I started whipping up a quick lunch. I already had the perfect meal in mind, too. Shrimp and grits. I just knew Percy was gonna love them. I pulled down a box of grits, measured out 2 cups, and then threw them in a pot of boiling water. Once they finished, I stirred them gently and set the oven on low.
Is she gonna throw
It
grits
wasn't
on
going to
you?
take long to make the shrimp, so I ran into the bedroom to the bathroom real quick. Percy was laying down in the bed watching ESPN while he smoked on a joint. "My food almost ready yet, woman?" he sternly asked. "Yes, baby, it's almost done. I just got a tinkle," I replied as I strolled into the bathroom. "All right, good, 'cause I got other shit to do tonight." Once I closed the bathroom door and locked it, I rummaged through the medicine cabinet and pulled out an old bottle of some medicine I had last year for my blood pressure. I quickly checked the bottle to see how many pills I had left. Too many to count, but enough to put Percy in his rightful place. I closed the bottle and stuffed it in my bra. Once I took a tinkle, I made my way back into the kitchen and pulled the bottle out of my bra. I took my food processor out of the cabinet and threw the entire bottle of pills into it. Once I crushed the pills up into a fine powder, I stirred them gently into the grits and then added some seasonings and other spices to cover up the taste. Some moments later, I finished making the Cajun shrimp and bacon medley to go on top of the grits. I scooped out a generous serving on top of the grits and then sprinkled some chopped green onion on top of it. "Percy, the food is ready," I called out with a big smile on my face. Not even a half minute later, Percy came strolling into the kitchen. "Finally, a nigga hungry as fuck," he groaned and sat down at the dining room table. I sat the heavy bowl of shrimp and grits before him. "What you want to drink? I can make you a little nice cocktail to go with those shrimp and grits." "Like what?" "I can take this leftover peach lemonade and mix it with the whiskey and some vodka. It'll calm your nerves down real good." "Well, fix me one, but don't add too much vodka, 'cause I said I got some shit to do tonight," he grunted, and then dived right into the food. "Damn, this shit good. Your old ass still good for something." "Yes, I am. I sure am," I smiled. Chapter 8. 6 months later. It's crazy how life can suddenly turn, and turn for the worse.
Alexa, pause. So what happened to Percy? Now, before I hear what happened, I want to make a prediction. Now, she grounded up a whole bottle, practically full bottle, of some blood pressure medication. I don't think Percy is with us any longer. I think Percy is with his ancestors. 6 months. Yeah, I think Percy did. I think Percy is dead and gone. Alexa, play.
Just when I thought I was living out my best life, I got hit with cancer. And then my love life started to go into shambles. Crazy thing was, after I tried to put Percy to sleep for good by putting a bunch of blood pressure meds in his grits, that nigga just slept it off and woke up the next day feeling like $1,000. Soon afterwards, like the trifling nigga I kind of always knew he was, he left me after he told me he got some young girl pregnant. I can't say I was devastated when he told me what he did. After all, I wanted him to leave anyways.
And did.
But I was truly broken, knowing that I wasted time messing around with some young kid who treated me like dirt and made it his mission to constantly remind me that I was nothing more than a piece of old ass, shelter, and a home-cooked meal.
Please.
That truly hurt, especially now that I was living with this cancer and I had no real man who truly loved me to look after my being. To make matters worse, soon after Percy left me to go be with his little young pregnant bitch, Markel decided to up and leave Chicago for Atlanta. Guess he wanted to be in a space where he felt a bit more comfortable with his real self.
Oh,
The day after I found out I had brain cancer, I ended up going to an oncologist who told me that I had an inoperable tumor and that there was nothing I could do other than potentially try some experimental treatments. But the doctor told me that at my age, those treatments might end up doing more damage than good. So, left with no other choices, the doctor told me that the cancer was terminal and that I had no more than a year, 2 at the max, left to live. Honestly, I can say since Clarence died, I had spent a few years after his death trying to make up for lost time, and it was a good run. But now, as I stood here in my bathroom mirror, looking at my poor old self begin to slowly deteriorate, I just knew it was a matter of time before my health would take a much more serious turn. The one thing I can honestly say I truly regretted was not taking heed to Alice's advice and actually settling down with a man who was right in my age range. God, she was so right. I should have just stayed in my lane and found me an older man who was more mature and had his stuff together. I would have had me somebody right now to look after me. I was so lonely.
oh, poor thing.
Crazy as it may seem, shortly after my cancer diagnosis, Alice ended up finding her a man, and now she was living her best life. She lost 100 pounds, got an entire makeover, and now she was looking better than ever. I, on the other hand, was beginning to look like a dried up prune that nobody wanted. Some of my hair was beginning to fall out. My muscles ached damn near every day. My bones felt so brittle, and every time I went somewhere, I had to pause just to catch my breath. My oncologist had me taking a few prescriptions to manage the vertigo and occasional nausea I'd have. He told me, though, that within a few months I should expect my condition to get worse, and that I better start getting my affairs in order. He even told me to consider checking myself into a hospice where I'd have 24/7 support and I could make some friends as I began to transition. There was a part of me, though, that still couldn't believe any of this, but I guess I had to realize that at the end of the day, we all have to meet our eventual end. Life isn't forever. We all have to die one day.
You do.
But damn, why did I have to go out like this? I always imagined I'd go out in my sleep, soft as cream. But no, I had to suffer in this agony. And any day now, I was just expecting myself to further devolve into absolute pain and the horror of cancer.
Alexa,
It was
pause. Alexa, play.
December, and snow was falling hard from the skies. Although I'd been in my house all this week, I could feel that it was so somberly gray outside. It was something about this weather that just made me so sad. I used to love winter so much. Now it was just a bittersweet reminder of how eventually I'd one day end up frozen in a morgue somewhere, getting ready to be buried in some grave. Alice called me earlier and asked me if I wanted to hang out. Although she had been coming by occasionally to check on me, her new relationship had occupied a lot of her time. I honestly thought she would have been a bit more supportive in helping me out, but then again, could I blame her? This was the first time in her life she truly felt love. I was so happy for her, but at the same time, so envious. One thing I came to realize was that although I'd had my fair share of young men, none of them actually loved me. They just wanted me and my sex. They just wanted my money, wanted my cooking. None of them wanted my heart. None of them wanted my love. And though I never wanted to admit it, all I wanted was their love, their affection. All this time I'd been living in delusion. Anyways, I had to get myself out of this funk because life obviously was way too short. As I finished getting ready, I wanted to put on one of my sexy outfits just for old time's sake. I wanted to prove to myself I could still get it. I had no idea where Alice was taking me, but she wanted to tell me she had a big surprise for me. Some moments later, after I got finished doing my hair and putting on my makeup, I put on one of my sexy dresses and sprinkled some of my favorite perfume all over my body.
I know that's right.
Damn, I look good. I congratulated myself for looking so marvelous, but deep down I was truly a mess. I had to stop myself from crying. Get it together, Vanita. Don't do this right now. Everything's gonna be all right. God is still in control. Everything's gonna be all right. Just breathe. I took in a deep breath and exhaled. Breathe in, breathe out. While I tried my best to simmer my nerves, I still couldn't help but let out a single tear. As it quickly escaped the corner of my left eye, I grabbed a tissue and gently wiped the tear away so I wouldn't ruin my makeup. Then I heard my phone vibrating on the edge of the bathroom countertop. That had to be Alice, so I quickly yanked the phone and answered. Hey, girl, you almost here? Yeah, girl, I'm just pulling up. Okay, I'll meet you outside then, I replied, and then hung up. I grabbed my purse, phone, and turned off all the lights. Soon as I got outside, I saw a shiny black brand new Lincoln Town car pulling up into my driveway. My mouth flung wide open. I saw Alice in the driver's seat and then she waved at me. Once I got into the passenger seat, the smell of a fresh new car filled my nose. Ooh, I just love the smell of a new car. Girl, when you bought this? I had to ask. I just got this yesterday. Lamar gave me the down payment for it and everything. Oh, wow. I see you and Lamar getting real serious. We sure are, she replied with a big, ecstatic smile stretched across her face. It was amazing how losing all that weight made her look younger. Looked like she took about 20 years off her face. Whatever she was doing, I had to do it too. I had to commend her because she was doing such a wonderful job. You looking good, Alice. Girl, I need to do whatever you doing. Oh, stop it, Renita. No, but for real. I'm so proud of you, girl. You look like $1,000,000.
I did a whole 180.
You still looking good yourself, though. I would never even think you had cancer. How's everything going with that? Are you still going to at least try out the other treatment options that the doctor told you? I sat there silent for a second. I honestly didn't know how to reply. Probably not. I don't think I should proceed, Alice. It just seems like the cons outweigh the pros. Besides, even if the treatment does work, what's the point of even living anymore? I lived my life. Oh, no. Renita, please don't say that. No. You have a lot to live for. Like what? Like me. I want you to live. All of your friends want you to live. Your family wants you to live. Alice cried. You're gonna make me really cry. Please don't give up hope. Yeah, well, speaking of which, seems like I ain't got no more friends or family.
Oh,
You got a man now and you living your best life. I don't really talk to my own blood like that. Never really did. Oh no. Bernita, is that how you really feel? I'm sorry I couldn't be any more supportive, but you know I'm always going to try my best to be here to help you out. You need to get out of this funk right now because it's just not healthy. It ain't right. And it ain't going to do you no good thinking this way. Well, how can I help but to feel any different? I didn't want to guilt trip Alice, and truth be told, she was right to an extent. If I kept thinking this way, I was going to hasten my demise. But how could I not feel depressed? How would you feel if a doctor told you that you had less than 2 years left to live? Every day I had to walk around knowing this very bitter fact. You know what, though? You're right. I'm sorry. I'm just a bit in a tizzy right now. I just feel so down because I never thought 6 months ago my life would suddenly turn for the worse like this, I explained. My head hung low. Once again, I tried to keep myself from crying. But suddenly this burst of energy filled me and I shot my head up. But you're right. I can't keep thinking this way. Sorry I even sound down like this. No, it's okay. You gotta get it out. Yeah, but just forget I'm even acting this way. I just want to hear this surprise of yours. Where are you taking me? I want to take you to this seafood spot out in the suburbs called Pt.2. You ever been there before? Lamar took me there a few weeks ago and it was so good. They got good shrimp. I chuckled.
Papa do got good shrimp.
Yeah, I've been to Pt.2 before. I love their drinks. I had to laugh, remembering one of my little dips used to work there. Terrence was his name. He was a little sexy yellow thing. Reminded me of Shamar Moore, just a bit brawnier. And I'll never forget how he tossed my salad in the back seat of Paulette in the parking lot.
Oh, my.
As Alice and I continued our conversation, she pulled out of my driveway. We hopped onto Lakeshore Drive, and I swear my mood shifted. The sun began to peek through the thickness of the gray clouds, and I had a glimmer of hope that perhaps things would be a bit different. Perhaps I should get a second opinion about my health. In fact, I planned to go to the doctor first thing in the morning. Find me a new doctor. I didn't like that cracker of a doctor I had any damn way. Chapter 9. An hour later, after a long journey on the highway, we had finally made it to the restaurant. I swear, black folks love them some seafood. And I say that because it seems like every nigger and their mammy was at this damn seafood restaurant. Pt.2 was like a fancier Red Lobster. Luckily, Alice got us reservations. Otherwise, we would have been waiting for what seemed like a good hour just to get a table. It was just 20 past noon, and she and I were sitting down at the table eating some bread and butter. She was strict about counting her calories, so she was eating tiny bits of bread, but I was devouring the entire loaf by myself as I sipped on this huge drink called the Swamp Thing. It was a mix of all different types of liquor, and baby, as that alcohol began to swim in my veins, I was starting to feel mighty different. I hadn't felt like this in a while, and I swore I was beginning to feel like my old self. Shit, now that I thought about it, maybe that was just what I needed to do to relax my nerves. Have me a nice cocktail here and there. That doctor told me not to drink, but hell, what did he really know? Besides, if there was nothing else I could do to cure this cancer, why not have a drink? Fuck him. I'ma live my life. So you need to go ahead and tell me what this big surprise is. I mumbled to Alice as I stuffed a big piece of bread in my mouth, then took a gulp from my drink. Well, you already know Lamar and I are getting real serious. She took a deep breath and I already knew what she was about to say. Last night, Lamar proposed to me, Alice confessed. My eyes widened. Girl, congratulations! Why you had to wait to tell me this? I'm so happy for you. I quickly looked at her hand and didn't even realize she had this beautiful, big-ass ring on her finger. How did I not notice that earlier? Gosh, I was so out of it. I'm surprised you didn't notice my ring, she then said as she held her left hand toward me, and showed off what had to be at least a 3 or 4 carat ring.
I know that's right.
Wow, this Lamar got some money. Girl, you struck gold, I see. Everything is lining up for you. Yeah, well, here's the other surprise, she said, and then her smile went a bit flat. What's that? My brow raised out of curiosity. I know this might not be what you want to hear, Benita, but Lamar wants to move to the Bahamas. He bought some land down in Nassau and built this nice house. He wants to move in a month or so, she said. So, you're gonna move out of Chicago? For good?
Nah, she done lost everybody.
That would be the plan, so, yes. But what? I just don't know. Know about what? Well, you know, our friendship and with everything you got going on. I don't know how I feel about just upping and moving, leaving you here by yourself. Child, listen. Do not worry about me, I said, smacking my teeth. Don't let what I got going on hold you back. You gotta do you, boo. But Benita, I just want to be here for you. I mean, we just talked about friendship in the car and whatnot and how important it is. You really gonna be okay with me just moving away like that? I didn't want to come off as crass and being selfish, but to an extent, I was feeling a certain type of way that she would just drop all of this on me. But what would I look like being so upset that she was getting married and then moving away? I should be elated that my friend was finding true love and happiness. Among the laughing, conversations, and clicking of dishes inside of the restaurant, I started to feel nauseous and my vertigo began to kick in. My stomach rumbled a bit and I wondered if I had too much to drink. Suddenly, I hung my head low and went quiet. Everything all right, Vanita? Alice sounded very concerned as she leaned in and rubbed my back. Girl, I think you may have had too much to drink, she said. I'm fine. I just need to use the bathroom right quick, I replied as I slowly stood up and leaned against the table for a moment. Is everything all right, ma'am? I heard our waiter say from behind me. I'm fine. I just think I had too much to drink, I said as I stood myself up. I just need to use the ladies' room. Where is it at? It's over near the far end of the bar, ma'am. You need me to help you, Vanita? Alice asked. She has brain cancer, and I think some of her symptoms are beginning to flare up, she said aloud. My eyes instantly grew wide with embarrassment and slight rage. Why in the hell would she reveal my damn medical history to the gay-looking white boy?
Oh, my God.
How dare she? There was a part of me that suddenly wanted to grab this plate of bread and smack her across the head with it. No, I'm fine, Alice. I'll be right back, I said back to her, my tone a bit angry. Making my way through the crowded restaurant, I flew inside the ladies' restroom and then made my way down to the handicap stall. I quickly locked it and began pacing inside the stall, punching the air. All types of rage filled my mind, and honestly, I wasn't doing good right now. I wasn't dizzy or anything from cancer. I was dizzy because I couldn't believe that ex-fat-ass bitch was getting married and moving away. Fuck her. I was supposed to be the one getting good news, not her.
Okay.
That bitch made all sorts of stupid decisions in her life, especially to stay with a crazy, abusive-ass nigga that cheated on her and beat her ass. But no, here I was, the one dying from cancer, and this flabby arms having bitch was getting all the good news. And yeah, I lied to her motherfucking ass. She didn't look good at all. She looked like pure shit. She looked like Bozo the Clown did her makeup, and that cheap-ass wig she had stitched in her head was a pure mess.
Alexa, pause. I can understand being upset with your cancer diagnosis. It's terminal. There's nothing you can do. But to say all that to the last friend you got? All right, Renita. Alexa, play.
Probably let that ratchet-ass daughter of hers do her hair and makeup. Got her out here embarrassing me and shit. Quickly trying to get myself together, I took a few deep breaths as I clutched my chest and closed my eyes. Calm down, Benita. Just calm down. You're doing the most right now. You got yourself all worked up, I said to myself, hoping my words would soothe this inner rage. I made my way out of the stall and strolled up to the sink just to sprinkle a few drops of water on my face. Ooh, child, I was so red in the face. No, this couldn't be the way I was gonna go out. Fuck that. I needed to get my motherfucking mojo back. Yes, ma'am. I was gonna die riding me a big black dick.
Oh my God.
Chuckling at myself as I stared in the mirror. I couldn't believe I was getting so envious of Alice's newfound happiness. But fuck her, that ass bitch. Yeah, she was my friend and she was being supportive, but I didn't want any friends right now. I wanted me a man with a big heart, big pockets, and most importantly, a big ass dick. If Alice could find someone and be happy, and I had 2 years left to live, well, damn it, I needed to find the same. The doors to the bathroom opened, and lo and behold, Alice stumbled in, scanning me up and down. Renita, is everything okay? I was getting worried for a second. Yeah, girl, I just vomited a little, but I took my medicine. I'm fine now. Ooh, child, I almost thought I was going to have to call 911. We can still go to the hospital if you need to. I shook my head. No, I'm fine. I just need to not have another drink, I said. Okay, well, do you want to get the food to go and just go back to your place and relax? She asked. No, we can eat here, girl. Don't worry about me. I just want to learn more about your plans, I said as I turned the faucet off and wiped my face with a piece of paper towel. The two of us strolled out of the bathroom and made our way back to our table. The waiter came moments later, took our orders, and then she and I went back to talking about her future plans. So, I still have yet to meet this Mr. Lamar. When am I going to have a chance to finally meet him? Well, Alice grinned hard and then said, I was hoping we could all go out, maybe in a few days. I think you will really like him. Yeah, well, I want to see for myself. I can't just let my friend marry any and everybody. Don't want to make that mistake twice, I said, winking. Yeah, you're right. You and I both know that for sure, she said back to me. Although I kept smiling, all I kept thinking was I couldn't believe this heifer had the nerve to compare my marriage to Clarence with that low-life nigga she was married to. Clarence may have been a bust, but when it came to the bedroom, at least he wasn't beating my ass and fucking every fast-tailed hussy in Chicago. I was over hearing about Lamar and Alice's joy, so after our food came, I made up some bullshit and told Alice I wasn't feeling well and that we should just get the food to go. And that we did. Less than 2 hours later, I was back at my house and I didn't even want her company anymore. All right, girl. Thank you so much for everything. I just need to take me a nap. I'll call you when I wake up, I lied. You sure you don't want me to stay behind just in case? Alice asked. No, girl, I don't want to bother you, I replied as I got out of the car with my food in my hand. I didn't even want this over-fried, nasty-ass shit. I'd rather get me some catfish from Chicago Chicken and Waffles than eat this bullshit. All right, well, give me a call, she said. Once I got out of the car, she quickly took off and I made my way back inside. Now that the old Vernita was back, I needed to get this back cracked. This tender pussy ain't been touched or ate in nearly half a year, and it was definitely time to get my fuck on.
Oh my God.
I may have had 2 years left to live, but that didn't mean I couldn't go out with a bang.
Oh my God.
No pun intended. I sexily sauntered through my kitchen and threw the food straight in the garbage. Fuck this moping and complaining. I was gonna live it up until the wheels fell off this pussy. So with that being said, I dashed into my bedroom and began looking for a new outfit to put on. Although it was Sunday and the streets were a bit quiet, Vanita was gonna go out tonight and snatch me up some dick. A part of me wanted to call up Percy and tempt him with cash so I could just get some quick dick. But fuck that. I wanted some new dick. I wanted to see if I still had it in me to make a nigga crave this body. After a few minutes or so, I found the exact outfit I was looking for. This all black, thigh-high slit gown to reveal these sexy, succulent, toned brown legs of mine. Ooh, and baby, the neck to the dress was open to reveal these nice, firm titties that I worked so hard to get, thanks to Markel. Although my hair was starting to look a bit patchy, I had the best wig to make a nigga's head turn. I had a blonde bob wig with china bangs. It was now approaching 2 p.m. and I didn't want to hit the streets until around 9 or so. So in the meantime, I was going to lay down, relax, and get me in a nice nap. In fact, before I did that, I wanted to smoke some good-ass reefer to get my mind right. I pulled out my phone from my purse and called up one of my dealers. 20 minutes later, he came through and dropped me off a big bag of that reefer. Once I rolled me up a nice blunt, I laid down and took a sip of some Hennessy I had left over from months back. The night was gonna be nice. Chapter 10. Club Sanctuary was one of these young folks' nightclubs over in the West Loop, which was like West downtown Chicago. Although it was Sunday night, surprisingly the club was packed to the brim. The air was bitter and cold, but my sexy ass was protected by this heavy chinchilla fur draping down to my ankles. This tall, big, thick security guard nigga, who was darker than midnight, checked me for weapons. Then, like the cocky, bad bitch I was, I sauntered through the doors of the club as the loud music blasted and rumbled the walls and floor. Sparkling orbs of neon light illuminated the entire nightclub. A bitch could feel all the eyes on me, but I didn't know if the stares were good or bad. Honestly, I didn't give a good goddamn.
Again, I know you would.
Baby, I was just here to have me a few drinks, meet a couple niggas, and hopefully bring some young dick back to my place of residence.
Lord.
The song blasting from the speaker sounded a bit dated, but it sure was giving my ass life. I think it was Crime Mob. Anyway, I had my stilettos on. My pumps click-clacked against the floor as I made my way over to the bar. I eyed an empty seat next to this man. Guessing he felt my presence, the young gentleman looked over his shoulder and then quickly pulled an empty seat back for me to sit on. "Oh, thank you, darling," I said to him with the biggest grin on my face. "No problems, ma'am," he replied as he scanned me up and down. With a weird smirk on his face, I knew he had to be curious about who I was and what I looked like under this fur coat. And just like that, I slipped out of the fur coat, revealing to every curious nigga in the club what I had on. I was bedazzling, you hear me? I had my pearls and diamonds on too. "Damn, lady, you really showing out tonight," the young man replied as he kept that same smirk on his face. And ooh, child, he was just what I was looking for tonight. He was a tall, yellow fella that reminded me of that actor, Terrence Howard. He had glowing blue eyes, a chiseled face, and full lips that were making this cat of mine roar like a lion. He looked athletic, too. Perhaps he played basketball for the Bulls, maybe even football. Hell, I didn't know, but I was going to get to know. He wasn't dressed like the rest of the guys in the club, though. He had on a nice, creme-colored Ferragamo suit. Boy, it looked like he made $1 million a year. What was to him, I wondered. "This music is a bit aggressive," I said to him as I sat down in the chair. The bartender, a chubby brown guy, strolled over and asked, "What are you having tonight, ma'am?" "I'm having some Coke and Hennessy on the rocks. Make it a double shot, too," I replied. "It's on me," the young, sexy gentleman next to me said to the bartender. He then glanced at me and said, "It's on me. I'll treat you since you came here dressed like the queen." "Oh, my. Thank you so much," I grinned. "And what's your name?" "Terry. Terry Franklin." He stretched his hand out to shake mine. "I'm Vernita. Vernita Washington." "Nice to meet you, Terry," I said, shaking his hand. I quickly glanced down and noticed his hands were manicured. Oh, child, I just loved when a man took good care of his hands. His hand wasn't too soft or too hard. "Nice to meet you as well," he replied, then took a sip of his glass. "So what are you drinking?" I had to ask. "Some vodka. I'm about to have some Patron next. Oh, you mixing them liquors together? You gonna get a headache. Nah, I'm a pro. He laughed, shaking his head. Terry and I talked for some time and kept having drink after drink. By now, I was so tipsy and ready to see if I could transition this casual conversation into a dick down session. But for some odd reason, it just seemed like Terry wasn't going. I don't know what it was, but if he was truly wasting my time, then I needed to scour the rest of this club for some potential dick. I ain't got all the time in the world to be wasting it on some nigga who just want to be friends at this point. He told me all about himself. He said he owned an IT consulting firm and was just in town for a convention. He told me he was from Los Angeles. That was good because for right now, I truly prefer to not fuck anybody local. Some moments later, out of the corner of my eye, it strolled up to Terry and put her hand on his shoulder. Hey, baby, I want to dance, she said. Baby, damn it. I knew it was something about this nigga. This whole time, he had me thinking his ass was single, and this nigga had a whole entire girlfriend in the club with him. I had it in me to throw this drink all over him and ruin that outfit he had on. Fuck, nigga. Renita, I want you to meet my friend Lacey, he said. He then looked at her and said, Lacey, this is Renita. The young bitch extended her hand to shake mine. With the fake smile etched on my face, I extended my hand and shook hers. How are you? I asked with fake politeness. I'm great, actually. I just want to dance, she said. She seemed kind of ditzy. I'm sure you do. Well, y'all have fun, I said, slightly rolling my eyes. It was nice meeting you, Terry. Thanks for the drinks. As I was about to get up from my seat and grab my coat, he gently grabbed my arm. Where you going? To leave you and your girlfriend be. Nice meeting you, I said. Nah, she ain't my girlfriend. She's just one of my friends. He seemingly tried to explain, but I wasn't falling for that bullshit at all. I already knew this nigga was lying. I was just shocked he'd do that right there in front of her face. Either he was lying or this nigga was a scammer. Whatever it was, I wanted no parts of it. Yeah, no, we're just friends, Renita, she chimed in. Just sit down and relax, Renita. I still want to get to know you, he said politely. Look, I'm fine. I want to get around the dance floor anyways, I said. So you want to dance too? Something like that. I kind of lied. Truth be told, I just wanted to meet other niggas because I was just getting shady vibes from this fool. Well, I guess we can all dance. Come on, he said, as he grabbed my hand along with Lacey. Oh, we are about to have some fun, she laughed. I tensed up a bit, slightly embarrassed, because I didn't want folks staring at me. Terry noticed how tight I suddenly got. I'm good, Terry. I really am. Oh, don't be so uptight. Just relax and live a little. Life is too short. I'm just a bit too old to get down on the dance floor like that. I was kind of lying about wanting to dance. I confessed. So what? Who cares? You ain't that old. What? You're like 50 or something like that? Shit, I'm 42. You ain't that much older than me, he said, chuckling. And just like that, hearing him say that I was 50 gave me all the confidence I needed to shake off the negative vibes that were just swarming my mind. I didn't know if he was just saying that just to fuck with me, but it did fuck with me. It made me feel good again. Fuck it. You're right. One life to live. Right. Now let's go dance, he replied, and then yanked Lacey and I toward the center of the dance floor. Nicki Minaj's Truffle Butter, which I knew by heart, came on and it just filled me to the core.
Please.
I felt like I was truly back to my old self. The lights on the dance floor turned purple and pink, and the three of us danced our asses off together, having the time of my life. I hadn't experienced this type of fun in a long time. I began to get super sweaty, and I could feel my makeup running down my face. Although I couldn't get down like I used to, I sure was working every muscle and bone in my body to the best of my ability. The DJ had a remix of the song playing, and it continued playing for another minute or so. As Terry grabbed me and started grinding up on me, he leaned and looked dead into my eyes. "You want to have some real fun?" he muttered. "Sure," I said, trying my best to gather my breath. He then reached into his pocket, pulled out a small pill, and put it on the tip of his tongue. My eyes widened. What in the world was that? He looked at me, leaned in closer, and began kissing me all over my neck. Although I was racked with fear about what the hell that was on the tip of his tongue, this deep sense of lust overpowered me. My pussy was beginning to get moist as his kisses sent me into a frenzy. He pulled back a bit, looked me in my eyes again, and then leaned in and kissed me on my lips. I gave in. The two of us made out on the dance floor. As his tongue wrapped around mine, I felt the bittersweet pill dance in my mouth. I then swallowed it, not even knowing what it was. But who cared? Whatever it was, I just hoped it made me feel good. As the three of us continued to dance, it seemed like I sweated all my fears, doubts, and dreadful thoughts about my age and having cancer. Nothing at the moment mattered other than this very moment. I felt so good, felt so alive, felt like I was 20 all over again and was starting my life. Terry's grinding felt so good, and next thing you know, I found myself getting so moist and loose. I was ready to jump all over his dick, if he was willing to give me some. I closed my eyes and saw all of these crazy visuals and patterns I ain't never seen before in my life.
Oh my God.
What in the hell did this boy put in my mouth? "What did you give me?" I asked Terry as I leaned into his ear. "I gave you a good time," he replied with a devious grin painted on his face. "Now let's take things back to my hotel room." "Most definitely," I said as I smiled back. "Yes, Lord. Finally. Vernita still got it, y'all." "I'm coming too, right?" Lacey asked as I looked over at her. She ran her finger down my chest and then tickled my nipple. Oh, my eyes exploded, open with shock and surprise. Oh, no. I was strictly dickly. This heifer got me fucked up if she thought she was going to be part of this situation. "Yeah, you can come too," Terry muttered into Lacey's ear. The entire time we were dancing, I kind of muted her ditzy ass out, but now I was back to feeling a bit annoyed again. "I don't know about all that," I said. "Don't know about what?" Lacey said. "Just relax, Renita. I won't bite. I promise you." She leaned into my ear and then said, "Besides, I bet you I can fuck you better than Terry." Without hesitation, she leaned into my neck and licked my earlobe. Chills shot down my spine. Honestly, it felt so good. Okay, now I was sold. Fuck it. You only live once, right?
Here we go.
Okay, let's go. I'm horny as hell. That's what I thought. Lacey replied with the same devious smile Terry had on his face. Without caring about my car, let alone what in the hell I was about to do with these two. 10 minutes later, I found myself in the back seat of a taxi. Seated in the middle, I had both Terry and Lacey kissing all over my neck. Both of them ran their hands between my thighs, and I swore I was going to come right there on those seats. Normally, I would be embarrassed because the African cab driver kept looking back. But tonight, I didn't give a fuck. I felt so good. Some moments later, we arrived at the W, right in the heart of downtown. Terry paid the driver, and then the three of us quickly made our way to the elevators. Moments later, we were on the 50th floor, expeditiously making our way to Terry's room. Once inside, I took my coat off and tossed it to the side. "Lay down and make yourself comfortable," Lacey commanded from behind me.
Oh.
Not saying a word, I did as she said. My skin was tingling with this pulsing joy, and the more I looked at her, the more attracted I was to her. She was thick, sexy, and angelic all at the same time. All I could imagine at the moment was her head in between my thighs sucking on my clit. Laid out on the bed, I closed my eyes again, and those same psychedelic visuals were etched into my eyes. I felt like I was in a different universe. That boy gave me something. I don't know what it was. Once I opened my eyes again, I didn't even realize it, but I was completely naked. I must have dozed off for a minute while Terry and Lacey got my dress, bra, and underwear off. Both Terry and Lacey stood there with nothing on. Her body was gorgeous. Terry's was too. He was cut up from head to toe, and his dick was harder than a brick.
Okay.
Lacey then got into the bed and crawled in between my legs. She gently pushed them wide open, then buried her head deep between me. Without hesitation, she began to suck on my pearl. Child, I couldn't believe I was letting another woman eat me out.
Alexa, pause. So she's terminally dying of cancer. She goes to dinner with her best friend, gets pissy with her best friend, she went to lunch with her best friend, gets pissy with her best friend, goes home, puts on something, a chinchilla that's down to her ankles, picks up a couple at the club. The dude done slipped her something that she's seeing colors. All right. Alexa, play.
Tomorrow, I was going straight to hell. No questions asked, but I didn't care. I never would have thought in 1,000 years that a woman knew how to eat the cat better than a man.
All right.
Woo, child. My pussy was gushing juices left and right as she worked that throbbing clitoris of mine.
Okay.
I was so enraptured in my own bliss, I hadn't even realized that Terry was pumping all types of dick up in Lacey as she continued to eat me out. And again, the room was a bit dark and I could barely see.
Okay.
Some moments later, Terry pulled out of Lacey and strolled over to me. He slapped his pussy juice-covered dick in my mouth, and I began to relentlessly suck on it like a lollipop.
Okay.
Baby, if you would have told me I died and went to heaven, I would have believed you. What a crazy way to end this day. Vernita was back, y'all. Chapter 11. I didn't know what time it was, but I was suddenly awakened by the sound of loud laughing and constant thumping piercing my dark bedroom. My hazy eyes slowly opened and I glanced over at my alarm clock and saw that it was nearly 3 p.m. Child, I don't know what the hell came over me, but I sure did some crazy shit last night. That was the first time ever I had an experience like that. The crazy thing was, most of the night was a blurry memory. But the one thing that I still had stitched in my mind was how that young girl ate my juicy box out like none other.
Okay.
I was still curious about what Terry gave me, but the more I laid in my bed, the more I realized that boy probably gave me one of those ecstasy pills or something like that. I ain't never messed with nothing like that before in my life, and I didn't know if I ever would again. I did have some fun, but that was just a bit too much for me. All of those crazy visuals almost had me thinking I was about to go meet Clarence, my mama, my daddy, and all of the rest of my dead peoples up in the upper room.
Okay.
I don't know how I managed to make it back home, but after I woke up, Terry helped me to get a ride back to my car. From there, and by the grace of God, I drove straight back home, although my head felt like it was about to explode. The heaviest fatigue drenched my entire body.
Pause.
As I got back to my house, I went straight to sleep. What in the hell is all of that noise? I mumbled to myself as I wiped my eyes and crawled out of the bed. With nothing on other than my bra and my underwear, I strolled over to my bedroom window and peeled the curtain back. I looked down next to the unit next to mine and saw a big-ass U-Haul moving truck and 3 Mexican-looking men moving boxes in and out. Guess the vacant townhouse next to mine finally got sold, and a new person was moving in. I'd always wondered when someone was going to buy that place, because it had been on the market for quite some time. My nerves frazzled. I was getting a bit irritated because I truly didn't want to wake up, but now that I was up, I figured I'd go take me a long, hot shower and clean myself up. Child, I didn't even know if I let Terry come up in me. Although I was pretty much dying. Shit, I still didn't want to get any diseases and shit. Ain't nobody got time to be getting AIDS.
Okay.
Especially when your ass already got the cancer. No, ma'am. Those Mexican movers were making a lot of noise, and I had it in me to go down there and curse them the hell out for being so loud. Outside in the middle of the damn fucking cold, speaking that Spanish and shit. But the more I thought about it, the more curious I became as to who exactly was moving in. I sure hope it wasn't these three amigos, because them Mexicans are notorious for partying and carrying on. Baby, them Mexicans will be up there till 3 a.m. drinking Coronas and fucking up piñatas, even during the middle of the goddamn winter.
Alexa, pause. All right. She didn't have to say all that. Alexa, play.
I grunted as I rolled my eyes and quickly pulled the curtain back. Got me fucked up. Now I had to be nosy to see who my neighbors were gonna be. Deciding to take a shower later, I threw on a pair of jeans, a shirt, and a coat. I made my way outside and put the biggest, fakest smile on my face. Excuse me, excuse me, I yelled out to get their attention as I waved at them. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Okay.
One of them said. He was a short, pudgy man with a thick-ass mustache. I'm doing fine. Y'all my new neighbors? I asked as I stood there beginning to shiver. The temperature was beginning to drop. Felt like it was 20 degrees outside. No, ma'am. We're just the movers, he replied. Oh, okay. Where are they? I want to meet them, my nosy ass replied. One of the other movers, some tall and slender young man, said, They went to the store. They should be back soon. I took a good look at him, and oh my, that Mexican boy was very handsome. Although it was frigid outside, the boy had on a tight-fitting black t-shirt that snugged every muscle on his upper body. His biceps were the size of pineapples, and his shoulders were thick and broad.
Okay.
He had a well-shaved beard that wrapped around his chiseled light brown face. I looked deep into his eyes and felt my heart almost skip a beat. Damn, I replied with my mouth flung wide open. I took a quick scan at his legs, and he had on some gray sweatpants. My eyes instantly flashed wide open when I realized this boy had a burrito of a dick print bulging right in front of him. Soon as I saw that dick print, I swear my pussy started having multiple seizures.
Okay.
Damn, I said, then clutched my mouth in surprise once I realized I had zoned off. Excuse me? He said with a raised brow. Suddenly the air felt awkward and I said back to him, I'm sorry. I'm just a bit up in age and I'm a bit hard of hearing. What did you say now, baby?
Please.
Oh, no worries, he said, smiling, revealing the whitest, prettiest teeth. I just said they went to the store and they should be back soon. They left about 10 minutes ago. This boy had to have been a model or something because he just looked so damn exotic. Child, let me make sure I made that doctor's appointment ASAP because this Mexican boy was giving Vernita a reason to live. You hear me? Okie dokie. Thank you so much, I said, reaching my hand out. I'm Vernita, by the way. Do you have a car? I might need y'all's moving service one day. Yes, ma'am. Actually, my name is Juan. I'm the owner. These two other guys are my older cousins, he said. I looked at the two older men and nodded, then threw my attention back to Mr. Juan. He pulled out his wallet and pulled out a business card and handed it to me. Thank you, I said to him, smiling. I'll give you a call later on this week. I have a house in the suburbs I got some stuff in that I'd like to move. Cool beans. We offer great discounts, Juan said. Thanks. We'll be in touch. I spun around and made my way back into the house. Child, I went from being ready to cuss them men out to meeting some new possible dick. Mexican dick at that.
Oh,
Baby, I was gonna stuff that burrito down my throat as soon as possible. Back inside, I stormed straight to my room and peeled the curtains back, watching Juan and his two cousins chop it up as they moved furniture and boxes from the U-Haul truck inside the house. Although I had a raging headache, I suddenly mustered up the strength to want to play with my pussy as I fantasized about Mr. Juan. Baby, this sex drive of mine was really flaring up. If I didn't get my shit together, my pussy was gonna fall up out of me and die before I did. I jetted into my bathroom, popped a few aspirins, and then expeditiously made my way over to my bed. I took off all of my clothes and got completely naked. Once I laid down, I rummaged through my nightstand and pulled out Mr. Cummings, my favorite high-powered vibrating dildo. Mr. Cummings had been resting comfortably in the darkness of the nightstand, collecting all types of dust. I ain't used this bad boy in a hot minute. Once I plugged into a nearby wall outlet, I powered it on, spread my legs, and let that motherfucker work this big clit of mine. Now, you'd think this pearl would be a bit sore from last night, but it sure wasn't. This pussy of mine still had at least 20 or 30 orgasms left in it for the day. Closing my eyes, I plowed Mr. Cummings in and out of me. He was about a good 10 inches long. My snatch could handle that motherfucker, too. As my hips and ass gyrated in the bed, my moans filled the dark bedroom. I visualized Mr. Juan fully naked as he laid on top of me and thrust his big dick in and out of me, his big nut slapping my ass. Damn, damn, damn. Shit, baby. My groans were getting louder, and by now I had already came twice. I wasn't gonna stop until I squirted. I wanted to squirt so bad.
Alexa. Pause. This woman is outrageous.
To drench these sheets up. Fuck me, Juan. Keep on fucking me. Fuck this pussy. All of a sudden, my eyes shot wide open, and I was immediately distracted by the sound of my phone vibrating on my dresser. Trying my best to ignore the phone call, I closed my eyes, and once again, I saw Mr. Juan back on top of me, pumping that burrito in and out of me. But the goddamn cell phone kept vibrating, and the noise of it was now overpowering the sound of Mr. Cummings. I figured whoever it was calling me hit the motherfucking cue that a bitch didn't want to be bothered right now, and that they would just need to call me back later. But the phone kept fucking vibrating. Ugh, I grunted and snatched the dildo out of me and tossed it off to the side in the bed. I hopped out of the bed and dashed over to my phone. I didn't quite recognize the phone number, but I quickly answered. Hello? Who is this? Miss Renita, it's Sade. My face scrunched in confusion. Sade? I shook my head. I don't know no damn Sade. Wrong number. Miss Renita, stop it. This Alice's daughter. She had a heart attack. She in the hospital. I suddenly clutched my chest. I guess I was too tired and horny to realize that this indeed was Sade, Alice's daughter. She occasionally did my hair. Lord, child, I just woke up. Wait a minute. Alice had a heart attack? Is she okay? I don't know. All I know is I got a call from one of my cousins telling me they found my mama passed out in the house and they called 911. That's all I know, and they ain't got nobody to come pick me up. She cried. Her sobs were so loud and intense that I knew this wasn't no joke. Reality set in and I began to panic. Okay, let me put my clothes on. I'm gonna be at your apartment in 15 minutes. Oh, Lord. Please let everything be okay. I sobbed. Please hurry up, she begged. I'm gonna be there. Just calm down, okay? Okay, I heard her mumble, and then she hung up. Tears running down my face. I didn't want anything bad to happen to my friend. Although I was feeling jealous about Alice, her new love life, and all the newfound happiness, I truly didn't want anything bad to happen to her.
But
She
wasn't
didn't
you
deserve
just
it.
dogging her?
Once I had my clothes back on, I zipped out of the house and made my way back to Sade's apartment. From there, we zipped to Rush University Hospital. God, please, just let my friend be okay. Don't do it like this. I was supposed to go first. Chapter 12. Sitting in this cold hospital room, I was completely devastated. The doctors had informed us that Alice had suffered a major heart attack and that she had been placed into a medically induced coma for the time being. This was gut-wrenching because just as my friend was beginning to celebrate the start of a new life, she was now unconscious and probably in a lot of pain. As I sat by her bedside, I rubbed her stiff, cold hand. I was trying my best to fight back these tears, but Lord knew that if the doctor came in and delivered us some more devastating news, I was just gonna break down. Alice had all types of tubes and shit running in and out of her mouth, nose, and arms. The constant chirping of all these machines was reminding me too much of when I first learned I had cancer. This was traumatizing, and a part of me wanted to get up and get some cool air just to simmer my nerves. But I had to stay. I had to be here for my friend. I leaned over into her ear and whispered, "Everyone's here, baby. This is Renita. We love you so much. We need you to get better. Please don't die on us." I closed my eyes and said a small prayer, hoping God would reverse this situation. But then, as I sat there, something strange hit me. Where in the hell was her fiancé? This Mr. Lamar. It seemed pretty strange that he hadn't been here. Did anyone tell him what happened? Then again, did anyone have his contact information? I looked around the room and Sade, along with her nieces and nephews, just sat in silence. They were all devastated too. Did anyone get in contact with Lamar? I asked. "Yeah, I did," said Mitch, one of Alice's grandsons. "But he ain't pick up his phone, though." Alice had 3 grandchildren, Janice, Paul, and Sade. Unfortunately, Janice died some years ago. Paul was currently incarcerated. So Sade was pretty much Alice's only child who was still around to help her out here and there. God, I just felt so bad for that child. "You tell her dad what happened?" I asked Mitch. "Not yet. He on lockdown." "Oh, okay." I simply replied and threw my attention back to Alice.
Alexa, could pause. So this is the final look. I do like the way it turned out, but more importantly, I want to thank you so much for making it to this end. But more importantly, I want to thank you so much for making it this far into the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell. That way you're going to be notified every single time I post. Again, my name is Shay, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, friends.
Julie, do the thing.